Hi, and welcome to today's training. Today we are going to talk about LinkedIn and what works on LinkedIn today, what's not really working. And this is actually a follow-up on the training that Angela Sundust and I did last Wednesday for people all over the world. We had people attendees from over 12 countries. So we got some questions about that, and we wanted to quickly recap what's really working today, what's not working today. So if this is the first time that you see me, my name is Josephine Warner, and I'm a business growth and LinkedIn expert. And Angela, who are you? Why are we here together today?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session. So my name is Angela Sundust, and I am Josephine's business partner. And I help our clients create masterclasses and other virtual events to sell their offers in the capacity one-to-many. So I'm here to support Josephine and to discuss the different things on LinkedIn. That is actually quite of a new platform for me. So a lot of the things that I have felt is also what our audience is feeling. So that is why I'm.
And I think we both struggled with LinkedIn in the beginning. A little bit different reasons. So I was terrified of being on LinkedIn because I come from the corporate world, and I felt really anxious about what my former colleagues would say. You, on the other hand, is a huge fan of Facebook and how Facebook works. So you had a little bit of a different feeling towards LinkedIn. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I started my fitness business many years ago, back in 2017, I was on Instagram. And then when I pivoted to 2020, I moved into Facebook. And Facebook is still the biggest platform. And I like a little bit of the mess. I like the community. I love Facebook groups and things like that. What I felt I struggled with LinkedIn was that I felt it had a different energy, that I needed to almost be a different person, because I'm a little bit messy myself. Back then, I traveled full time. I worked at B&Bs, and it was just like my life was like a circus. And I didn't pretend that I didn't live in a circus. So I felt I couldn't be myself. So I struggled with creating content. I struggled with what am I going to write? I struggled with how am I going to show up so people look at me in a professional way. So it wasn't that I was scared. I just didn't know if I could bring myself, my personality, to a platform as LinkedIn.
And I think that is actually something that most of us struggle with, especially before we start out. And if we start with we have a framework that we call our 5-step success framework. And if we go into the number one step there, that is where you absolutely have to start. And that is when we talk about focus and clarity. Because if you don't know what it is that you want to achieve, both from a business growth perspective, but in particular from LinkedIn, it will be very difficult. Then, of course, you can take content from Instagram or Facebook and repurpose that to LinkedIn the other way around too. It's even easier to repurpose from LinkedIn to the other platforms too. So the first step that we actually cover is clarity and focus. And when we talk about what works on LinkedIn today, that one is so key. So LinkedIn has changed the algorithm completely from before, that it was more based on who are your connections, and then it was more based on share about anything and everything. And today, LinkedIn really wants to put you in like a box of being the expert, which is what your clients wants to see too, right? So that is one of the biggest things that absolutely is key today. If you're here with us live, then make sure you add a comment. Let us know that you're here with us live. If questions come up throughout this session, make sure that you add them in the comment section too. If you watch the replay of this, same thing. You can add questions afterwards. We have gotten questions since we hosted the live training last Wednesday. We will cover them at the end of today's session too, or maybe even throughout today's session. So anything you want to add when it comes to clarity and focus, Angela?
No, I mean, it's on all platforms, right? We need to focus and we need to have clarity. If we don't have clarity, how on earth would our clients or dream clients have clarity in what we do? That clarity comes from us, not them looking in, right?
Yeah, that is so true. And if we then take the next step, which shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone who is on LinkedIn, it is about the profile, right? The LinkedIn profile is completely different compared to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, right? And of course, it comes from like the old legacy way that LinkedIn was used, mainly to host your CV, mainly to to promote or ask for a new job, right? But that profile can actually be your strongest business asset today when it's used in the right way. And we see that so many people actually use it the wrong way, from the banner to the about section to the headline, you name it, right? Because even there, if you don't pull in the clarity and focus into your LinkedIn profile, that when someone lands on your profile, it might be that they have Googled you, that they have seen some of your content, that they have seen that you are commenting on someone else's post, for example. They might be confused, right? And what happens when people are confused? They leave us, right? No one is going to invest in someone who makes them feel confused, right? So the step number 2 in the LinkedIn Success Framework is obviously the LinkedIn profile. What do you want to talk about when it comes to the profile, Angela?
I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's actually never going to be perfect. You will always update it as you grow. But I think it's important to when you look at your profile, think about, how can I make it super clear for my dream clients that land on my profile what to do? Because if they don't know what to do, they will do nothing. So you need to have very clear directions. What do you want them to do when they land on your profile?
Mm-hmm. And then if we go into step number 3, which is building the right audience. I feel that so many people, especially on LinkedIn, because it's very easy to build very easy, but it's fairly easy to build an audience on LinkedIn. And I feel that so many completely focus on that, on like building an audience as fast as possible, as if that would solve all our problems. And it's never about having an audience. It's not about collecting followers and connections like Pokemon cards. It is about building the right audience, because still your content is pushed out through your first connections first. And if they don't like what it is that you're doing, which an audience, if that audience would be totally uninterested in what it is that you're doing, or they might not really be active on LinkedIn, then that will send a signal, because they then won't react to what it is that you're putting out there. And that will send a signal to LinkedIn that what this person puts out is not really that interesting. So we're not going to push it out any further either. So when we talk about building an audience, we talk about engaging with the right people. We have a special system that we help our clients to implement. It's about connecting with the right people. It's part of that system that we help our clients to implement, because what it does then is that you actually are able to focus, right? Focus during a certain amount of time. We usually say 1 hour per day maximum, and then you leave the platform. You're not going to be there and scroll, because nothing good comes out of scrolling, right? We're not any like efficient or productive when we are just scrolling. So we had questions about accepting connection requests, about things like that, and we said, or I say that I accept most connection requests unless I have the feeling that someone is going to pitch me immediately. If I get the feeling that they are going to pitch me immediately and I accept it anyways, guess what happens? They pitch me immediately, right? Same goes when you are sending connection requests and you think that I am going to close this person, I'm going to pitch them. They will not want to accept your connection request. So it goes in both directions, right? To also send connection requests and accept connection requests, because only that way will you be able to build an engaged audience. What do you want to add about that, Angela?
I mean, a lot of people are, like you said, so focused on the numbers instead of focus on what the quality of the audience. And that could be other people in your niche that you in the future could collaborate with, for an example, industry leaders, for an example. But we get so focused on the numbers, so we just click and we do not really care. And then, of course, like Josephine said, you're going to see very low engagement on your post, because you might have connected with people that are hardly on the platform. And I think it's important. It doesn't matter how you sell your offers. It's so important, because you're going to take them in somewhere, in a freebie, in a training, however you decide to sell. And if you focus on the right audience, I usually say you will not have any cat people, and then you're going to sell a dog stuff in the other hand, because it's not aligned. So that is one thing that I really want to emphasize, to move away from focusing on the numbers all the time, because most of the people unfortunately do, right?
Yeah, I did a live training in a group coaching it is a group coaching program, someone else's group coaching program. I did a live training there the other week, and someone said, "Oh, are these good statistics?" And you can't say from just the print screen whether these statistics are good, because it's all about, does it convert or not? That is the key point, right? And that actually moves me into pillar number 4, which is about the content creation, the whole content planning. And inside my program, the LinkedIn Breakthrough, we actually split this into 2 parts. So we cover one part planning, because there are so many people, including how I started out too. I felt as if I was constantly chasing, doing content all the time. So we talk about content planning. And then, of course, we also talk about content creation, because as part of the content creation, it's not just about pushing out content there, getting loads of engagement on your posts or your newsletters or whatever it might be. If you can't turn that audience into leads and clients, it's just noise. It's just not, it might look good on the outside, but you won't be able to convert the people if you don't have the right types of content. If you're not inviting people to actually book a call with you, or send you a DM, or join your webinar, or whatever it is that you do, the different sales strategies that you are pursuing, then it's not going to convert, right? What do you want to add when it comes to content, Angela?
One thing that I'm thinking about is that a lot of people think it's all about the profile. But you have to understand that the people you want to visit your profile, those are going to be your dream clients. You want to get them on your profile. They're going to find you through your content. And most people then ignore the content and think that the profile is going to do the heavy work. But it's actually, they are going to come from the profile if they are not searching specifically and your profile pops up on Google or something. But most people are going to find you through your content. And then it's important that that content speaks to the right people in your brand voice, whatever you want to add to the platform or the industry, so it catches the right person's attention. So I just want to say that, because we can see a lot of people that put all their energy in the profile and they say, yeah, but my profile is perfect, so now I'm good, and still I can't go on LinkedIn. Well, you don't create any content that anyone can engage with or know exactly what to do, so it's just noise. And we can't add noise to an already noisy market, because people will not pay attention.
Yeah. So one of the comments I got after the training was from a person, and they said, you spoke a lot about how to use LinkedIn. I'm familiar with this, about posting, commenting, and connecting. And yes, that is absolutely part of it, because if we are not posting, if we are not commenting, if we're not connecting with the people, then how are you going to build an audience, right? But I have my papers flying around here in the air. That's the perk of being outside, even though it's amazing, lovely weather today. But anyways, it's not about that, which actually takes me into step number 5, which is the whole sales strategy, right? We talk a lot about mindset, because if you have the wrong mindset, meaning you think that you're going to pitch immediately. I don't think we have had any clients, by the way, Angela, who said, I'm going to pitch them so hard, right? That's not the people that we attract, because it's also not the way we sell, right? But if you are afraid of selling, the mindset that you're afraid of selling, you find that selling is scary, it feels sleazy, it feels manipulative, then that is a big part that we are covering. That is also the reason why we split sales also in 2 different sessions. We go deep into sales, where we cover sales and mindset on one hand side. We talk about the different sales strategies that you can use on LinkedIn, but we also then talk about lead generation, and in particular follow up on those leads, because that is something that we can do so much better, everyone. We leave so many leads in particular in the direct messages, but also in your posts, right? If you don't know what to do with your post, with engagement on your post, then it's not going to convert. We have clients who go viral. We have clients who did go viral before they joined our program, but they didn't know what to do with it, right? How do I deal with 150,000 views? Most people, when they get that many views, don't know how to deal with it. It feels like a, how do you say it? Very flattering, but at the same time, it can also be very scary. And we are not aiming to go viral. And it doesn't matter if you get 1,000 views on your post, or you get 150,000 views on your post, you have to know how to actually deal with those views, right? So that's what we help our clients do too. So Clara, for example, just shared in a DM with me that thanks to the training, she now knows how to do, because she just had another post go viral. So that is also how we celebrate then, of course, with our clients. What do you want to talk? You're a sales master, Angela. What do you want to talk about sales?
Well, if we look at the thing with viral posts or people commenting, if we only focus on looking at impressions and looking at the comments I get, we forget all the people that do not want to comment. And most people don't, especially in different niches. You might not want to comment on the stuff. And if you then don't have another way that those vintage, for example, inside of the LinkedIn breakthrough, to move people into a one-to-one conversation in a DM, you're going to lose all those people. Remember that a lot of stuff that people want and people struggle with, and the fears and all the things that people are sitting with inside, they're not going to share it online in a comment on your post, right? So that is why I again want to make sure that we emphasize that when we do lead generation and sales content specifically, we don't chase these the numbers, because not all people are not going to comment, but they're going to see it. And that is where the mindset comes in, because a lot of people give up before they even reach the finish line when it comes to lead generation and sales.
And talking about numbers, maybe we can talk a little bit about that, because we also get people who say, when we talk about pricing, I don't have the investment at the moment, and things like that. And first of all, we do offer a payment plan or an investment plan. So it's very easy to join us, actually. And what also happens is that independently of how many number of connections you have at the moment, the clients I have inside of the program who have followed the program, who have done the step, they all get clients, right? So there is a financial return on investment. But not only that, also like Clara said, this has completely changed the way that she does business. She has gone from a national business to an international business. Just things like that. We don't push our clients to if you want to post in your native language, then you should absolutely do that. But you can also see you can have a bigger impact, right? So that's how we support our clients too, to have a bigger impact. And then of course we want our clients to succeed. It is important to us that you also get not only like an emotional and a business growth return on investment, but also a financial return on investment. We had a couple of questions when it came to the program in itself, when exactly we run it, how we run it. And this is the last time that we are going to do live teaching, meaning we meet on every Monday at 5:00. We do a break over the summer. That break is going to be, we do our last live teaching on the 7th of July, and we kick off again on the 17th of August, right?
Can we just add that the 5:00 is Central European time? So it's 5 p.m. Central European time. So just so everybody gets that.
Definitely have to say that, because currently all our new joiners are from the US, so that would be very confusing for them and for us, right? So it's 5 p.m. Central European time. That is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, right? 6 p.m. UK time. So we do that every Monday, where we do live teaching, and we provide you with feedback. We give you a review. We take you through our curriculum step by step by step, so that you definitely implement what it is that we are teaching, so that you do get results. Why are we then doing this for the last time if we see our clients getting results that way? Because I've been live teaching this for 2 years now. It's time also for me to swap the how the program is set up. We are still going to do feedbacks and reviews and Q&A calls and things like that, but we are not going to take the next people who join inside of LinkedIn Breakthrough during a live teaching setup, right? I just want to make that very, very clear. And I honestly don't even know when I'm going to open it up the next time. So if you want the live teaching part, and if you want to get our kind of like very hands-on support during the next 10 weeks, excluding the weeks of holidays that we're going to do, then now is the time to join us. We start on when do we start? 1st of June, next Monday, exactly in a week. But we are starting the onboarding already tomorrow, because we want to know exactly where our clients are at, so that we can support them in the best way. What do I need to add, Angela?
I mean, if we look at the value of those live teachings, so they are a combination of live teaching, and of course you can ask questions, but they are going to guide you. And one thing that I feel with a lot of programs that I purchase is that they are very comprehensive, and you get a little, I don't know where to click or what to do and when to do it. This follow exactly step by step by the weeks. So if you just follow along after the program is over, you're going to see you have done everything. And that is what's going to lead to the leads, and that is what's going to lead to the clients. So I think this is a great opportunity. They are very valuable, those live sessions.
Exactly. So see, we have a question here from Sayali. Thank you so much, Sayali, for posting your question. Without now, I can't go into and check out your profile at the moment since I'm streaming live, but Sayali is posting regularly mixed content, both educational and your own stories, which is very good experiences. You get a lot of engagement, you get feedback, and it's inspirational, but you haven't generated leads from LinkedIn yet. What would you like to say about it? I think there are, without having a look, I haven't seen your profile, Sayali, so I can't really, be like, and at the same time, if I would look at your profile, I would only see it from the outside, right? We had one of our clients, and when from the outside, it looked amazing. She had amazing impressions, she had amazing likes, comments, engagement, but exactly like for you, she couldn't really turn those into leads and clients. So what we then said is, we said you should actually cut down on your engagement. I don't know how much you engage, Sayali, but in her case, it was she was exhausted. She was almost all the time on LinkedIn, commenting like crazy, morning, midday, evenings, after dinner time and things like that, and instead implementing a more strategy that is really more in terms of strategic engagement, and then also moving those warmer leads, you might say, into your lead funnel. It depends on how you sell. If you do sell over calls, or if you sell like we do through masterclasses, for example. So it's a different call to action versus call to engagement. So it's all about the complete strategy that I think you would have to look at. If you're interested in our program, Sayali, then just send me a DM and I can share the link with you so that you can register for it, or you can join us instead. We close the doors today at 7 o'clock Central European time. That is 6 p.m. UK time. That is 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So if anyone is here watching this now, haven't yet seen what it is that we're doing, make sure you send us a DM immediately, because we are closing the doors today at 7 p.m. my time. What do you want to add, Angela?
I mean, this is a clear example that we feel that we do everything right. And it's just not usually one thing, right? It might be who we are speaking to, the message, but there needs to be all the steps in place. And we also need to understand and know how to turn those followers or those connections into leads and into clients. That is why we need all the steps. We can't have one without the other, because the funnel somewhere is going to break. We are just going to add, if we then just add people, you're going to only amplify the broken system that is in place. And that is why all this 5 steps is there, right? That Josephine worked with.
Exactly. So I think that was actually it. So the promise of this one was what works on LinkedIn today. So we have shared that you have to be seen as the expert on LinkedIn. And we have shared the 5 steps to actually be seen as the expert. And also what you need to do when it comes to sales. You have to have a solid sales mindset to dare to invite people to actually take the next step. But all of the other 4 steps are also super important. It's not only about creating content, commenting, engaging, what else? Having a fantastic profile. It is having a system in place, and that is what we help our clients do inside of LinkedIn Breakthrough. That was actually it. So I will close this call. If anything pops up afterwards, or you want to hear more about it, either add it underneath this video or send us a direct message. Lovely to see you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.